for arranging this. Thank all of you, take this off. Thank all of you for coming. Wow, it's just really touching. Gregorio, thanks for helping me to initially donate these books. I miss you. I miss seeing you every day. Gregorio was the dean when I first arrived as associate dean. We spent pretty much every day together, and there was no one else around, so he had to talk to me. And Ebir and Karina, I don't know if you're both here. I see you. Thank you for all the work you've done to process these. I didn't mean to create more work, but you know, my mom was a librarian. Well, I guess is once a librarian, always a librarian. So she has her master's in library science, and so a lot of the time after school, I would go over to whatever school she was librarian at, and that's where I would be while she was finishing up work. You know, I would go to school, get on the bus, stay on the bus, and the bus driver would drop me off at school, and I'd hang out in the library. So libraries mean a lot to me, in just in terms of my personal growth and as a child. I spent a lot of time in libraries, and then as a student, I just found myself inhabiting libraries. I can't imagine my college experience without the library. Graduate school too. The philosophy department of Rochester had its own library. And now I have my own library. I mean, I have a lot more books than I donated. Ask Alix, my wife. So I love libraries, and I think libraries are incredibly important, not only for research and academic work, but for the communities in which they're found. They're a place for people to bring their children. They're a place for people to come together. They can be powerful tools for activism and politics, and they can liberate minds, which is critically important. And I love books. It was not easy to let any of these books go. I mean, I bought them all. I remember this one, Mozi, who's one of the Chinese philosophers I've studied, and this is a really remarkable book with the Chinese on one side and the English on the other. And he's one of the few philosophers ever to sort of develop an entire philosophical system based on love, which is a really great idea. It should be done by somebody else too. And there are the Loeb classic books over there, and some of the Oxford classical texts over there in the Greek. And I've spent a lot of time in these books, and you know, if you open some of them, you'll see that I wrote all over them. And I'm sorry about that. I would have liked to have erased it, but I couldn't. I taught it. And when I came to the library here and I looked at the holdings for philosophy, I realized that, you know, a young person in the Imperial Valley who really wanted to have access to some amazing philosophy wouldn't have as much access as I would like them to have. So a perfect place for a whole bunch of really great books that are timeless. I chose books that will never go out of style. They'll never be irrelevant. They're not flash in the pan philosophy texts. They're classics that you'll have to read if you're ever going to become a philosopher 200 years from now, 500 years from now. They're just those kinds of books. And as for why I would donate them, it was not because my wife was telling me to get rid of all these books. That was not even a part of the conversation. I love this place. I love the valley. I don't want to leave the valley. So I just expect to be hanging around the books. And they'll be here instead of in my own library. And that just makes it easier for you and other people to get at my books. It's still easy for me to get at my books, right? I can just come over here and read them. And I've done that. Just recently I came and took a look at a book, used it for a reference in an article that I'm going to publish. And I'm wearing this beautiful silk scarf that was just given to me by Huan Chin and Ting Ting in appreciation for the work we've done together to try and build up math here. And so thank you. This is really 15 students coming in math, so and the NSF grant supporting that. And I will practice hooding somebody. Looks much better on you than on me. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming and celebrating these books. I'm grateful, Mara, for your time and attention to this event. It's really very touching. Enjoy. I hope you all take time to read Homer in the original Greek. Thank you.